got to be out of here. Isaiah 19 says, if I be willing and what? Obedient. Come on now, if I be willing and what? Obedient. Come on, say it one more time. If I be willing and what? Obedient. Come on, say it one more time. If I be willing and what? Obedient. I can have his best. I ain't got to worry about how you looking at me. I told him a testimony about my college student that came in today. College student, and she really only working, pay her tithes. Every time she get paid, she pay her tithes. But she came to see me, and then she didn't, I didn't have what she needed. So she went to another co-op and she looked. And the man tried to put her in some garbage. But she remembered what I told her. And she told the man, she said, look, my pastor told me I can have what I want. And if you ain't got it, I'm gone. He said, who your pastor? She said, Pastor Leo David. He said, hold on, you can't leave. You can't leave. Watch this here. Pastor, what are you saying? She obeyed what I told her to do. And guess what? She riding Cadillac too. At 19 years old. Why? Because of the simple fact she listened to what the instruction that God gave her leader to do. She obeyed me. And guess watch what she ready to do. Watch what's going to happen next. Because she obeyed. Watch this here. Watch this here. Watch this here. You should what? Eat the good of the land. You should do what? Eat the good of the land. She eating good of the land because she's driving good. If you start listening to what God is saying, you can eat the good of the land. Somebody said, they're my blessing. They're my blessing. But verse 30 says, but if you refuse and rebel, you should be devoured with the what? Sword. For the mouth of the Lord have what? Spoken it. Pastor Leo didn't speak it. The Lord spoke this. Now I'm telling you, I didn't even try to go this way, y'all. I'm telling y'all the truth. I had another sermon. But the Lord wanted me to let y'all know today that if you want his best, stop selling for mediocre. I don't care where you live. I don't care how you look. If you change some stuff, you can change being mediocre. Folks lay here and tell you, well, how do you get him? What you trying to say? Don't he answer? What you trying to say? It amazed me when I first met Pastor. Hey, man, how you get up? What you trying to say? You act like I ain't got game. How I get her? Why you asking her how she got me? Y'all didn't get that, did you? When people ask you how you got somebody, they really calling you ugly. They really said you don't even have the ability to get that person. They really telling you how. They ask you, you got him? You got her? Y'all never thought of that though, do you? You just start bouncing. Girl, I just put the whip appeal on him. They looking at you like, You need to think before you ask the question. They said, man, how you get her? I said, what you mean? You act like, man, listen, you act like I ain't got no game. I said, she gave me 3 minutes. Why you by yourself? Man, I had to get rid of her, man, because now, tell the truth, she got rid of you because you a buster. You know, we can lie, boy, men can lie good. Somebody said, I got to learn this obedience. I got to learn this obedience. See, I can't be partial with obedience. I got to have willful obedience. And I can't be constrained. I can't be forced to obey God. If I be forced to obey God, if I lay here and force you to obey God, I'm going to tell you this story. If I force you to obey God, you won't stay in here. If you partially obey God, you won't get no blessings. But if you willfully obey God, you get his best. Somebody say, I get his best. Now watch this here. Watch this here. Let me go and close, because I know my clothes going to be long. Going to be about, I ain't got that much time. Now check this out. It was a man. He lived in this town. And he was, well off. He was well off. And what he did, he adopted kids off of the streets that, was eating out of garbage cans. They didn't have nowhere to go. and everything. And so he adopted so many kids that the newspaper people, the news reporters and everything, they wanted to come see how he was getting these people, how he was getting these kids' lives changed from, going out of, eating out of the garbage can, having nowhere to go, to they was growing up being doctors and being lawyers and really, being success in life. And they just wanted to know, how you doing this? And he said, well, he said, they said, we want to come over and do a documentary on you. You come over to your house and stuff. So he invited the news people over, and the news people came over. They came over at nighttime, because they wanted to really see how he operated, how he was going out. You know how some people, go out and get kids and mess over them. But this man wasn't. He really had a heart to help people that was losing out and stuff. And he basically was doing it for the, the young kids and the adults, because there was so many kids, man, just didn't have no life, eating out the garbage can, had nothing going for themselves, just on the streets. And so the news people came over, and they knocked on the door. He let them in the house, and he was sitting. He said, "Come on in." And so it was, the kids, they was laying out. They was all asleep and stuff. And he was walking through. He walking through the house with some bread in his hand. And he walked over to one of the kids, and he told one of the kids, he put some bread in one of the kids' hand. And when he put the bread in the kid's hand, the kid clamped on the bread. And he walked on through and putting bread in the other kid's hand. They was clamping. But it was one of them over there. The newspapers, the news guy said, he said, "Hey, sir," he said, "you forgot one." He said, "It's one over here you didn't get no bread to." He said, "Oh, he don't need no bread." He said, "Why he don't need no bread? He been with me long enough. He trusts me." Y'all didn't get it. See what God is telling you, why he keep giving you bread is because you don't trust him enough. But if you trusted him, you wouldn't need no bread. The ones over here needed the bread in their hand to make sure that, watch this here, they know they're going to be here in the morning. And he's going to be there for them. But the one over here, listen, he don't need no insight. All he needs is to know that he trusts God. He don't need the sixth realm evidence that God going to be there tomorrow. He already know God going to be there tomorrow. Because he did it for him once, he'll do it again. But these over here, they had to have some sixth realm evidence. Because bread in their hand represents you'll be here tomorrow. Bread in their hand represents that the owner will be there tomorrow. But over here, he had matured enough that he didn't need no bread in his hand. The ones over here was afraid they couldn't sleep right. They was tossing until they got the bread. But after they got the bread in their hand, they clamped down and went on to sleep. But the one that didn't have the bread, he was already sleeping. That's how it works with God. When you trust God, you can go to sleep. When you don't trust God, you wait on God to put something in your hand to make sure he... And what don't happen, a lot of y'all ain't trusting God. That's why you're not getting his best. Because you're waiting on God to give you something before you serve him. So the reporter said, he said, "That is awesome. How did you get him like that?" He said, "How I get him like that is because what I told him always came true. I never lied to him. When I told him I was going to do it, I did it. When I told him that he don't have to worry about nothing, he didn't have to worry about nothing. When I told him he had a home, he can come to, he can go and listen, he can go as he please and come back as he please. The doors weren't locked. He entered when he wanted to. He left when he wanted to. But after a while, he didn't want to go nowhere. See, after a while, you be with God for a while, you'll quit going to them places you used to. Ain't that all right? And see, the good thing about the story is this, is that you got to trust God. Because if you don't trust God, you'll never get his best. Pastor, I know what some of y'all saying, "Pastor, you ain't in my shoes." Listen to me. Listen, me and Pastor A account sometimes go down to 0, 0, 0. But I never fail to do what God called me to do. I don't care who it is. You got other pastors, if they told you the truth. If their money they got, they won't last long. My job is to prepare you when you get to heaven. Right here on earth. We're going to live like we in heaven on earth. And when I talk about money, a lot of y'all get afraid. But let me give you this statistic about money. Watch this here. Where my thing is. It says, watch this here. It says this about money. Let me give you this. And then I'm going to let y'all go home. Do I still got it? Because I put it somewhere. I wanted to keep it. But it says that it's 284 scriptures dealing with money and finances in the church. It's 200 and something dealing with faith. And it's 200 and something dealing with salvation. So check this out. It's over 2,000 scriptures talking about money and finances in the Bible. Why is God talking about money so much? Oh, she found it for me. It's 200